Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. So today's actually a pretty cool video, one that's been highly requested, and I think will be very, very valuable to you guys because I'm actually going to be introducing my iPhone purchase checklist. So you're going to be using every single one of these items, or you should be if you're already not, when going and finding an iPhone to buy. There's a bunch of steps that you need to be looking at to make sure you're buying a legit phone and there's nothing wrong with it. So with that said, I do have a whiteboard here, so let's get into the video. So as you guys can see, I actually wrote out a whiteboard, basically a checklist of everything you guys need to be looking for and checking when on site meeting at a person, whether it's at a carrier store or at your local McDonald's, whatever it may be. You need to be looking at all these single items, something that I do every single time. And if you want, you guys can screenshot this. With that said, let's kind of go into it. So the first thing that you should be checking in obviously is the IMEI. And when I go and check the IMEI, I'm basically using 3 separate websites. So obviously I have my own phone that I'm going to be using for all of this to check things on the back end, not on the phone that I'm buying, but basically the IMEI, I use 3 sites. So the first one is swappa.com. This is first, just get the IMEI of the phone. If the phone's unlocked, you just go to settings, general, about, and you'll just scroll down and see the IMEI. Or if the phone's already reset, click the little I button on when it says like welcome or hello on the beginning screen. Click the little I button and the IMEI will come up. So get the IMEI, put it into swappa.com, and you'll first see a result, see if it's financed or anything like that. Second website I use is IMEI Pro Info. So this is a great website. It's just kind of a back-end check. It's like a kind of double making sure that there's nothing wrong with the phone. It does the same thing as swappa.com, but this site is honestly a little bit more trustworthy in my senses, because sometimes I've had phones that don't show anything on Swappa but do show that they're like blacklisted on IMEI Pro Info. So if you guys just want to use IMEI Pro, definitely give it a go. I just do it as kind of like I've always done it, so it's just like an extra precaution for me. And then the third website is something a lot of people I don't see in this business do, but they actually use IMEI.info. So this website actually, it just basically tells you everything about the phone. It'll make sure that you're buying the actual phone, like somebody's not trying to sell you a 6 S when there's actually a 6. So I've seen people got kind of messed up with that when it's easy as you can just check that there's an S on the back of the phone, but that's kind of like an extra precaution, just making sure it's the right model number and everything like that. But it'll also tell you the gigabytes. I've seen a lot of people get scammed when they're trying to sell a higher gigabyte phone than it actually is. So it's actually happened to me a couple times where people say it's 128 gigabyte and it's only 64, or it's 16 and they said it was 32. So this website just pretty much tells you the specs of the phone, so you know you're getting exactly what you want, because obviously you went in knowing a price based on what they told you, but if it's different, it's probably going to change the value of the phone. So and then also at the end, what I do is, if you're meeting at a carrier store, don't worry about this, but if you're not meeting at a carrier store, this is actually a hack that I do. To not meet at a carrier store if it's closed or something, like during a holiday, or we're meeting past store hours or something like that, maybe at like 8 p.m. or something. I actually go to the carrier website. So let's say you're buying a T-Mobile phone. Take that IMEI and then go to Google and type in T-Mobile IMEI check, and you come up with a website, and you basically put in the IMEI, and you can basically see if there's like a balance on the phone, and first make sure that it's compatible with the phone. Sometimes people have tried to sell phones to me that they say they're one carrier and they're not, and that website will tell you if it's compatible with the carrier or not. So whatever the carrier they're saying that it is, go to the website, their carrier's website, and try to find something that has to do with the IMEI check. There's one for every single carrier. That's a video I'll go more into another time, but it's just an extra check to make sure it's compatible with that carrier. So the next thing is model number, and this I kind of goes along with the IMEI.info, because this will check and make sure based on the IMEI what the model number is, what kind of phone it is. Third point is the condition. Just make sure, if they say it's perfect condition, make sure it's perfect condition. If they say there's a crack, make sure there's a crack. Like, just everything about the phone. Test the buttons on the side, the volume, make sure they're not sticky. Make sure the volume on and off button is working. Make sure it vibrates when you turn it off, because that signals that that's just making sure the vibration works in the phone. Just make sure there's nothing wrong, because if you're reselling on eBay, you have to take into consideration every nick or malfunction with the phone as possible. Whether it's the smallest crack on the top of the screen, it'll change the value significantly. So take a good amount of time to look at the condition. And the fourth part is actually checking the iCloud. So if the phone is reset, and I actually went on a video like a week ago about this, but basically if there's an iCloud on the phone, you want to check that it's off. So if your phone is reset, go through the settings, put in a SIM card of the phone, and make sure there's no activation lock. So if there's an active iCloud on the account, it'll make you put in the password of the iCloud during those setup steps, like where it tests the region, the fingerprint scanner, all of that beginning setup from the hello page. And if it's not reset, basically just go to your settings, and it's the top thing. When you click on settings, it should say iCloud, and make sure that the person signs out on the iCloud account. You wouldn't believe how many times you're going to come across this, where people say they just it was their phone, their brother or sister's phone, something like that, and then they'll basically just say they can't log out because they don't know the password because their sister. But when reality, it's probably actually just a found or stolen phone that they're trying to make an extra buck on. Just kind of take that into consideration. This will affect the phone the most. So if you miss this step, you're kind of screwed, because without an iCloud, you're going to have to get somebody that technically tries to take off iCloud, but in reality, the phone is kind of a dud if there's an iCloud on it. And then there's usually a Find My iPhone, so you can get tracked down, and it just gets a messy situation. So always buy phones that are no iCloud, or the iCloud is off. The fifth point is actually Touch ID. So this is actually happens in the steps when the phone is reset. So when you reset the phone, go through all the settings, and one of the settings is the Touch ID. Just make sure it can be set up and everything like that. The sixth step is the cameras. If it's reset, you can still do this. You obviously just go through all the steps, get to the home screen, test the front and the back camera. Sometimes phones will have blurry, but they won't have a crack on them. So obviously this will affect the value of the phone on the other hand when we're trying to sell the phone. So just make sure everything's clean. Make sure the tracking and everything is fine. Just kind of wave around the phone. Check the flash too. That's something that a lot of people will miss. I've seen flashes broken. There's so many things that could go wrong with the phone. So take all these steps into consideration, guys. I'm telling you, this will save you a lot of money on the back end if you are able to check all these steps right now. Even if you've never bought a phone, do this and you'll never have a problem. I can guarantee it. So the seventh step is the sound. So once you're at the home screen, just kind of go test the ringtone, stuff like that. Make sure it vibrates when you click the on and off button for the sound on the left side by the volume up and down button. Just check the sounds, check a ringtone, whatever it is. Just make sure there's the volume is loud when it goes all the way up, and there's no volume when it's all the way down. So because speakers can get heavily messed up, especially if somebody drops the phone in water and then they put in rice or whatever and then it works. Sometimes the speaker won't work, and that might be why they're trying to sell you the phone, because most people won't actually check that. I've never actually had somebody who's bought a phone from me in a local marketplace check the sound. So the last point is honestly one of the most important too. This should happen at the end of the sale. After all these steps come out clean, if they do come out clean, you need to show them the bill of sale. And just kind of as a side point, before every purchase that I'm trying to make, I make sure that that there is a bill of sale, that they know that a bill of sale will be coming, and that's something I'm requiring in terms of an ID and their signature. If they don't want the bill of sale, if they're kind of hesitant, obviously that's probably going to be a sketchy transaction, so don't take part in it. I've bought phones that people have tried to do bill of sales with me, and I mean there's nothing wrong with the phone. I made sure, and obviously there should be no problem trying to buy the phone from the other side. So you should always include the bill of sale because it protects you legally. So if somebody will try to file an insurance claim on the back end, after they sell you the phone claiming that it was lost, but they actually sold it to you to try to get money. And then they can just claim another phone and they just have to pay a small deposit. So they're obviously making a profit just to screw somebody else on the other side. And that somebody else could be you. And it has happened to me before. So if you get that bill of sale, you can easily show those insurance companies that the phone was handed over from the actual owner of the phone. And so obviously it wasn't lost, and they're most likely, if they sign it, they're not trying to do that anyway. So it protects you mentally and just kind of financially too later on with the phone. So again, this 8 steps is something I do every time that I buy and sell a phone. It's something that you guys need to be doing to protect yourselves so you guys don't lose any money. If these things can go wrong. So let's say the camera was blurry. So you can still buy the phone, but you're just obviously going to have to reevaluate, look on your phone, look at what they'll sell for on eBay, and then go from there and offer the price. If they don't take it, that's fine. But I've still bought phones all the time that people try to sell me, but they're actually in a different state than what they actually told me before meeting up. So I'm still trying to make money. Like, why can't you buy a phone that's cracked when they said it wasn't? So as long as you can make a profit and you reevaluate it the right way, by using like eBay app on your phone, definitely plausible. So with that said, I hope that you guys find value in this video. I honestly think this is one of my better videos. So if you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to join the family. Posting videos every single day. Drop in knowledge. If you have any video suggestions, leave a comment down below. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow in the next video.